guys, welcome to this new video. My name is Eric Patterson. Today I will show you how to manage user access in Jenkins. It's called Jenkins role-based access control. So let's create a user in Jenkins first, and then let's limit what that user can do or not do. So first of all, let's go to manage Jenkins and let's create a user. Let's create, for example, the user John. Let's give him the same password, John. Full name John. Then let's just call him, for example, John at DevOpsEasyLearning.com. I've created a user John here. Now, if I log out, as you guys can see, I am admin here. I am admin. As an admin, I have access to manage Jenkins. I can see everything here. Now, if I log out, or let me not log out here, but let me bring another window. Probably this window here, it's the same Jenkins. Create here it. So here, this is Mozilla, that's Chrome. So I will log in here as the user John with the same password John. As you guys can see here, I am here the user John here. And if I go to the dashboard, I have the same thing. I can see the same thing that the admin user is using, which is not good. John is just a simple user, should not be able to see or do the same thing that the admin is doing. To restrict that, what can we do? We can install the plugin that I put here, this plugin here called role-based authorization strategy. We can use that plugin to restrict what John can do or not do. So let's go to manage Jenkins. Let's go to the plugin section. Let's go to the plugin section here and let's install that plugin. As you guys can see here, if I check on installed plugin, type role, nothing will pop out. If I go to available plugin, type role, that's a plugin here. So I can go ahead and install this plugin. Go back. Now, if you want to configure that plugin, the plugin has been installed. If you want to configure that plugin, I am here as user admin. If I want to configure that plugin, I will go here on security here. So because it's something that sensitive, so it goes under security. I will go under security. Now, under security here, if you check here, you will be using like Jenkins own database, but if you come here on authorization, you will see that project, right? It is here. Project-based matrix authorization strategy, that's the plugin that we just installed. If I come here and select that plugin, it gives me this window here. So we have it gives me this window here. Now, what we need to do on this plugin, first of all, we have to add ourselves, meaning that we need to add the user admin first. So we come here, you click here on user, you type the user admin and you search it. It will pop out here. Now, what we have to do here is that we are going to give him administrator privilege, right? We're going to give him administrator privilege. And if you click here to give him administrator privilege, you can't click no more because that's the highest privilege. Now, you need to give admin the administrator privilege or you'll be locked out of Jenkins. So always make sure that you give the default user, which is an admin user administrator privilege, right? Give the default user administrator privilege first. Then you'll be able to go ahead. Now, if I apply, I give him administrator privilege. If I apply and save here. Now, let's go back into this and log out. Now, let's log in as John again. Now, as you guys can see now, John does not have administrative privilege no more. As a matter of fact, I was able to log in as John, but Jenkins is telling me that access denied. John is missing overall read permission, meaning that there are some permission that John is missing, and John will not be able to do anything on Jenkins. Now, if you go back to security here, let's add the user John here. Now, John is just a regular user, so I don't need to give him administrative privilege. So that's what John is missing, the overall read. If I click here, I will give him the overall read. Means that he will be able to read stuff only. He can't really do much. I just gave John the read permission. If I come here and refresh, as you guys can see, once I refresh, this come up. So, and you guys can see if I dashboard, if you look at the dashboard here, if you look at the dashboard here of the user admin, look at how many bottom the admin have as an access, and look at what John has. John only have people, history, and view. Why? Because so far, I only gave John the read access, right? John can only read. There's nothing he can do. Now, I can elevate more privilege for John. If I come down here, I go back. Let's say, for example, in terms of credential, right? And you guys see section here, credential, agent, job, run, view, and source code management. I can say, for example, John can create credential, right? I can decide that John can create credential. I can decide that he does. I don't want him to delete credential. I don't want him to manage domain. I can also decide that John can update credential. For example, he can view those credentials. He can view those credentials, right? So if I apply and save, those will be the privilege of John that I elevated. So in terms of credential, as you guys can see, as soon as I apply, this pop out, this credential section pop out. Before, it wasn't there, right? As you guys can see, John can come here, and I said that he can, add a credential. He can add, as you can see, he's missing credential, manage domain. So if I want him to do something on credential, I need to give him this guy here, which is the credential manage domain. If I refresh, it will change. So here, he will be able to move on, right? So if we come here, and John can see the credential here. He can even add a credential here. Let's add a simple credential. For example, username with password. Let's say, for example, he want to add something like, let's say username data, password 123, ID, say data, description, data. He can create, right? He can create. So he just created this passport called data, and John, look at what is happening here. John can update the credential here, but he can't delete. Even the credential that John created, he can't delete. Why? Because here on the matrix base, we never gave John the delete permission. So John cannot delete this credential. He created something that he can't delete. He can update because we gave him the update. He can view because we gave him the view. And the same thing, we can decide that we are going to give John, for example, John can configure agent, can build, these are like agents. He can create agent. And in terms of job, for example, also, we can decide that here that John, let's give John, for example, a build. Let's give John, for example, like a build. So that is what you use here to control what John can do or not. Like this is the job session, build, create, configure. So that's how you manage user. You decide what he can do or not do. And how useful is this? Like you usually, most of the time at work, you have a lot of people using Jenkins, like people that belong to the development team use Jenkins. People that would belong to the quality assurance team use Jenkins. People that belong to the DevOps team use Jenkins. And most of the time, Jenkins is owned by DevOps. So DevOps, we have full administration on Jenkins. And most of the time, we want to restrict what developer can do or not do on Jenkins. Because developers, they don't really know Jenkins. They can use it, but they don't really know Jenkins. So sometimes you want to limit access to what they can do or not do. I hope you like the video, and see you on the next video. Thank you.